Natalia Vodianova's life is so incredible that it is hard to believe it happened. It sounds so legendary that if you just start with once upon a time, there was a little girl and end with and the prince and princess lived happily ever after, it could fit perfectly on any page of a Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale. However, Natalia Vodianova personally rewrote the ending of the Cinderella story. But instead of Cinderella reverting to her former self, it was Cinderella, now a queen, suddenly announced one day that her marriage was temporarily ending because she had a new romance. Her new love was the prince from the neighboring LV kingdom. Natalia Vodianova was born in 1982 in a small town near Moscow. Since her father left the family, Natalia took on many household chores from the age of 6. Her mother opened a fruit shop, and Natalia recalls, "From the age of 11, I had to help my mother carry dozens of boxes of fruit every day, each weighing over 30 kilograms. I never even thought about how heavy they were. It was incredible." Looking back on those days, Natalia Vodianova can't help but sigh. The story didn't develop with Cinderella crying in the kitchen. Instead, Cinderella stepped out of the kitchen and became a little girl selling fruit. "Since my mother wasn't very good at business," Natalia says, "I rented an apartment with friends and started my own fruit business. Bargaining with wholesalers, weighing the fruit, I was familiar with every step. I was amazing back then." And she was not even 14 years old at the time. At the age of 14, Natalia Vodianova entered a local modeling school. At the time, she never imagined this would become her future career, a career that not only propelled her into the fashion world that every girl dreams of but also brought her to her prince. There we learned how to recite poetry, but they never taught us how to perform in front of the camera. For Natalia Vodianova, the school was more like a club where she could pursue happiness with friends. To be precise, her modeling career was only enlightened there. Her turning point came from a Parisian talent scout. When this scout approached Natalia and said, "You should go to Paris. You can do better there, but you must learn English within 3 months," her life reached a crucial turning point. What drove Natalia Vodianova to learn English within 3 months? To many, this seemed miraculous, but Natalia Vodianova casually explained it as her strong desire to leave her quiet hometown. "I had been living in that small town, mundane, without any excitement. So when that person called out to me and handed me the contract, I had already decided to go with him." Natalia then went to Paris, where the legendary tale that every girl envies unfolded. It was the year 1999, she was 17 years old, and she signed with the renowned modeling agency Viva Modeling Agency, starting her career in modeling and endorsements. After entering the modeling world, Natalia met her future husband Justin Portman at a friend's dinner party. Justin Portman, 41 years old, is a wealthy British aristocrat from one of Britain's most prominent noble families, being the third son of the late Viscount Edward Henry Berkeley Portman, and is famously known as the diamond in the rough of high society. Engaged in artistic pursuits, he and Natalia met while intoxicated at this dinner hosted by a mutual friend. According to Natalia's recollection, "He was flirting with one of my friends at the other end of the table, and I felt terrible when he came over to me. For the next 2 hours, we argued and screamed at each other non-stop. He was drunk, and so was I, and everyone present was laughing at us." In December 2001, Natalia gave birth to their eldest son, Lucas. In September 2002, adorned in a pearl grey satin gown designed specifically for her by Tom Ford, Natalia married Justin Portman in a fairytale-like grand ceremony held in St. Petersburg. They rented out Peter the Great's palace and celebrated with over 110 close friends and family over a magical 3 days. Their romance was highly publicized, evident from the subsequent births of their daughter and another son. The entire family even sweetly appeared together on the cover of the American edition of Vogue. In Natalia Vodianova's fairytale marriage, perhaps the most enviable aspect is her wardrobe filled with gifts from numerous top fashion designers, including bags, shoes, and jewelry of the highest caliber. She has a near obsession with jewelry, thoroughly researching and hunting for rings, necklaces, and earrings. However, she doesn't wear bracelets. Her shopping experiences often drive brand-loving women wild, spending summers in Uruguay and owning a house in Antigua. Essentially, this is the modern interpretation of "and they lived happily ever after" in a brand-annotated version. Despite marrying into a British aristocratic family, Natalia Vodianova never entertained the idea of giving up her career. Even becoming a mother didn't slow down her professional stride. Just 6 weeks after giving birth to her eldest son, Lucas Alexander, in 2001, Natalia returned to the fashion runway. After giving birth to her daughter, Neva Vodianova, on September 1, 2002, she even appeared on the cover of the prestigious fashion magazine Vogue Paris alongside Neva. On September 13, 2007, just 3 weeks after giving birth to her third child, Victor, Natalia returned to the fashion runway. She has enjoyed successful collaborations with many renowned photographers, swiftly becoming one of the top 10 supermodels in the fashion world. Natalia also possesses extraordinary earning power. She dislikes trousers and defines herself as very feminine, adoring various high-end custom-made dresses. Her trademark features include deep, penetrating eyes, a childlike smile, and a strong, assertive personality. In addition to her modeling work, Natalia Vodianova has also ventured into film acting. In 2012, she starred in the film Belle du Seigneur, adapted from the classic novel by French author Albert Cohen, published in 1968. Apart from depicting a great love story, the film intertwines the historical fate of Jews on the eve of World War II and the inner demons of the male protagonist surviving as a reluctant survivor. Natalia's character, Ariane, is portrayed as a stunning beauty, fearful of boredom, difficult to satisfy, and filled with destructiveness. Ultimately, the two characters tragically choose to end their lives together in the luxurious guest room of the Valmorne Hotel in Geneva. In addition, she has been actively involved in fundraising worldwide for her organization, the Naked Heart Foundation. In Russia, she established a playground called the Naked Heart. To raise funds for her charity foundation, she also ventured into cross-industry endeavors, launching her brand of high heels that she designed herself. Natalia's fairytale marriage concluded in divorce in 2011. However, this seemed less like the end of the story and more like the beginning of a sequel. Natalia's new love interest is none other than Antoine Arnault, the heir to the LVMH group. On July 3, at the grand opening of the Fendi flagship store in Paris, Natalia appeared hand-in-hand with Antoine Arnault. Antoine Arnault is the heir to the Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, LVMH, group. He is also the managing director of the renowned French footwear brand Berluti. His relationship with Natalia is very stable, and the couple has just finished renovating their house in France. The story of Cinderella is not just for admiration but should be seen as a blueprint for creating one's legend. Natalia's life shines because she seizes opportunities with determination. It may sound cliché, but it reflects the reality of life. Behind every idol or celebrity lies a long history of struggles and efforts.